because it could be better. Your whole life can change right now. And I think for a lot of people it will. Some people they'll go backwards, they'll regress. But I'm hoping that you'll be the opposite of that and your life will actually take a big uptick. All right, folks. Hey, it's Brett Summers here. Got a question for you. What would you do if this situation that we're all in changed your life forever for the better? I think that's a question people need to start asking themselves, because right now I think people are asking themselves the opposite. They're saying, what happens if this never clears up? What happens if this never gets better? What happens if I don't come out of this hole? And I think you need to shift where your mind's at right now, because I'm here to tell you straight, folks. We're in a tough time. We're in a tough economy right now because of people not being able to go to work. And I think everybody is in a tough mindset. They're in a tough mental space. And I think that's what we can shift by watching the show, by listening and taking some of it to heart and implementing it as quickly as possible. So the first thing I want to touch on, what you focus on, you feel. I read a book by Tony Robbins in 2015 and then studied him a little bit further. And something very simple concept is whatever you're thinking about, you're going to feel. And he always said that you can't have a positive and a negative emotion going on at the same time. That duality would not work. You would not be able to focus or think or concentrate on one or the other, because they're both kind of fighting themselves. So right now, most people are thinking negative. The thoughts in their heads are fear, uncertainty, lack, scarcity. And I want you to try and shift your mind for a second with the most basic level thing that can always put you in a better state: gratitude. Shift your mind to thankfulness. Shift your mind to asking yourself better questions instead of saying, oh, what else is going to go wrong? What else is going to happen? Start to ask yourself questions that get better answers. Again, another Tony Robbins tip and trick. Ask yourself better questions. What can I change about myself right now? What can I improve right now? What's great about this situation? How can I enjoy this situation? What am I willing to do in this situation to make it better? What am I not willing to do in this situation anymore to make the situation better? And when you start to ask yourself those questions, your mind starts to focus on bringing in some of those positive answers. Well, what's great about this? What a crazy question, right? And we've got some crazy virus going on out there and people are losing their jobs and the whole sky is falling. What kind of question is what's great about this? Well, I'm not negating the fact that there are negative things going on, that people have been extremely negative impacted, me included, right? But at the same time, I also know that if you shift your thinking, you can start to focus on some things. And if you think hard enough, which I don't think it will take you very long, if you think hard enough, you'll be able to generate some really cool concepts. You'll be able to generate some really good thinking that allows you to start focusing on some of the good that is happening right now, like people encouraging each other, communication and text messages and phone calls and FaceTimes with people you haven't spoke to in a long time, people who are generally a little angry, a little isolated, are now all of a sudden reaching out to other people. They've got a little bit more positive demeanor when you speak with them, because people want to pick each other up. Life was not meant to live alone. So people right now are starting to focus on how they can help other people. And I'm seeing a lot of selfishness and arrogance and pride in not only myself and others. I'm seeing a lot of that fading away right now. Now, when things pick up and go back to normal, which I hope they never do, I hope things get better, will some of that come back? Yeah, but I think right now everyone's been humbled. All of the idols in their life, whether it be sports was the first thing to go. Like, I feel like God was like, hey, sports, I know all you sports guys that, like my buddy Law Dog, Big O, Derek Handel would be another one, top shoppers that are like all sports. He pulled sports. No March Madness, bro. You got no NBA, you got no MLB, you got no opening day. All those idols were pulled away. Then all of a sudden you realize that your work for a lot of people is going to get pulled away. You can't go grind and hustle. I mean, you can still do it to a certain extent, but some of those ways that you thought you could do it, that you were putting on a pedestal, now those things are gone. Some of those distractions that people have, going out up to the bars every weekend and doing crazy stuff, that got pulled away. Even the people that are doing the wild stuff, now they can't go do it, or they could. But they're taking on quite the risk. So another thing that I was thinking, and I think that this is it's an elementary thing for everybody, and I know Britt's experienced it, and a lot of you guys out there have experienced it, but your pain that you go through, the pain that you're feeling right now, the problem that you have right now is going to lead you to your breakthrough, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that life was terrible for you in 2019, 18, 17. In fact, I'm sure maybe your income was on the rise. Maybe your stock portfolio was on the rise. Maybe your business was on the rise. But the fact of the matter is right now, you have been forced into a situation where you need to pivot. And that pivot doesn't always mean that you're going to go backwards. The pivot can actually mean that you're going to break through. You're going to hit another new dimension and level in your life. And that's what I'm hoping for. So what you have to do in this situation, right? Because it could be better. Your whole life can change right now. And I think for a lot of people it will. Some people they'll go backwards, they'll regress. But I'm hoping that you'll be the opposite of that, and your life will actually take a big uptick and you'll get things locked in. You have to decide now, and then you have to adjust later. So what I mean by deciding now and adjusting later is you have to focus on those things you can change right now and just get after it. Don't think about it forever. Don't hesitate. Don't delay. Think about what those things are that you want to improve on right now and take action on it. It won't be perfect. It won't be ideal because you can't go anywhere. You can't really talk to this person, that person. You can't do some of the things you normally could do. But take the action now. It'll be a little ugly, but you can make the adjustment later on and perfect things and iron things out. And when you can get around your team, or when you can get around other people, or you can hire that coach, you'll be able to make the adjustment, make it even better. But why not start on your health and fitness right now? Why not start to lead your life into personal development and improve your mindset and your level of thinking and thoughts right now? You know, you can hire the mentor and go to the mastermind and attend the conferences later on and make the adjustment there. But why not start right now? But failures, tough times for me, they've always made me better. They've always made me a better person. I've always gotten more out of my failures and the things that didn't happen than the things that did happen, or the things that I planned on and the things that I expected. So times like my freshman year of high school baseball, I was dealing with some health issues, which for me was actually, I was lactose intolerant and I had IBS. I had like bad stomach issues. And at the time, I wasn't as knowledgeable on nutrition. So I would, drinking milk and cereal in the morning and then having Choco Taco and Cheez-Its for lunch at school is probably not good for your stomach if you have lactose intolerance and IBS. So if you're struggling with that, I missed a lot of school, and I was also quite a bit of a prick at the time as a little kid. I had a pretty bad attitude, and I was kind of the class clown. I think I got the class clown award many times in high school, so I missed a lot of classes, and that led to me getting in trouble a lot. That led to me having some grades that were on the fence, and it led to me not being able to play my freshman year of baseball. It's a big problem when baseball is your life. So I made the team on my skill, but I wasn't allowed to be on the team because of my attitude and because of some of the actions I was taking. That was a big, strong lesson that I needed to get my game together. Now, what came out of that is I reached out to one of my old coaches who was a spring coach at the time, and their season was done, and at Milwaukee Lutheran, and he invited me to join the Milwaukee Lutheran baseball team instead of Menominee Falls to play on the varsity team as a freshman all summer long. So I ended up playing at college campuses and doing all sorts of crazy stuff that led to me playing, instead of with 14 and 15-year-olds, I was playing with the best players at the highest age level that you could play. So that problem led me to growing, right? 2008, had a lot of family stuff going on, had a lot of economic uncertainty and disaster happen in my family, as well as losing some key leadership in my life. And what that led me to do, it didn't lead me down a negative path, which again, right now, it could be for the good for you. So instead of letting it take you in a negative path, why don't you turn it into something good? 2008, I lose all that, you lose your house growing up, and you're just forced into these really tough situations where life changed in an instant. And instead of letting it make me go backwards, I used it to start this business. Literally, I think 2 months, 3 months later, I started Top Line Training. I knew that I had to man up. I had to be the man. I had to try and take care of some other people. I had to add value to people, and I had to shift my entire life. So something amazing came out of all that distress. And unfortunately for me, it happened in like the worst economy ever until now, because I'd say when the economy literally shuts down, that's probably the worst economy ever. So I lived through the 2008, business grew through 2008, 9, 10, 11, but I took something terrible and made something good of it. Maybe you lost your job right now, but maybe you hated your job. Maybe you were doing things just to make the money that you actually didn't love. Maybe you'd rather take a couple $1,000 a month pay cut to do something you're passionate about and actually enjoy life, because you're going to rekindle some of those things that you really like right now. Maybe you were in a relationship with someone over the last 6 months to a year, 2 years. Maybe you're trapped inside with that person. And maybe you're realizing now that you've had to be forced to spend so much time together that it's not a good fit. On the opposite of that, I've experienced the complete opposite of that with Michelle and I. For many of you who don't know, Michelle's my girlfriend, Michelle Sonor. She owns Ellen Co. Styling Salon, Thiensville, Wisconsin. We'll shout out there, best salon in the world. And we've gotten a chance to be together like this, and it's only leveled up some of the things that we already do together, the way we support each other, the way we talk to each other, pull each other up when each of us feels a little bit of uncertainty or fear, and raises each other up. So maybe you're on the opposite of that spectrum though, and you're realizing during this time that your relationship is not helping you grow further. It's not helping you get better, and you might need to make an adjustment. So again, all this good can come out of this. You can get your diet dialed in. You can get your personal development locked in. You can read more. You can study more. You can work out. You can de-stress. You can, I realized during this that, you know what? At 9 o'clock, it's not bad to be home at 9 o'clock every once in a while. It's kind of nice to be home at 9 o'clock, because typically I'm not home till 10, 11, 12 sometimes from work. And maybe if I was just a little bit more structured, which is one of those things, I'm good. My structure is being unstructured, and I need to get that together a little bit, work on that weakness, so something good can come out of this. But again, these situations are making me realize those things, and you're having to face the harsh reality. The harsh reality is things changed. This virus is real. It is what it is. Now we have to own it. We have to do the hard work. We have to sweat. We have to get a little nervous. We have to deal with the pain and the uncertainty. We've been forced into a situation right now where some people are mentally being stressed if they haven't physically been affected, which again, I'm hoping that number levels off and goes down and gets eliminated. But I know everyone has been affected to a certain extent mentally, and that's part of the game. It's part of life, and it might be preparing you for some other challenge down the line like it has in my life. You handle the pressure by focusing your mind on things that are going to make you better. You handle the pressure by making improvements, by setting a schedule, by eliminating the distractions. And I think that's going to come back to being really big for a lot of people. Now, a couple quick things I wanted to go through. One of the problems you might be facing right now, while you have all this time on your free time on your hands now, is distractions at home. You don't know how to plan or structure a successful day. And you're struggling to try and keep your finances right. You're struggling to keep your fitness right. You're struggling to keep your faith right. You're struggling to keep your family stuff right because there's so much chaos. Here's what I have to say about that. Distractions at home. Maybe you have kids running around the house. Maybe you have a disorganized workspace. Maybe you don't have things in order. Maybe you don't have files that you need. My suggestion is clean your office. Straighten up your filing cabinets. know where things are. Go put your clothes away when you change in the morning. Go make your bed in the morning so you have a space that can improve your thinking. You have no clutter. You have no mess. You have an obsession to detail. You have an obsessive focus on making sure that you can clear the distractions. If you're working on something, you take your phone out, you put it on airplane mode, and you go put it into a drawer somewhere. Go put it in the refrigerator for crying out loud. Get it away from you. The next thing is that the distractions with like kids or with boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or whoever's there, let them know Daddy's got to work. Big Poppy's got to get some work done. So you can't come talk to me for the next 90 minutes, right? Set clear boundaries with people. And the planning and structuring your day, the easiest thing to do with that, pull out a sheet of paper, put down those most important priorities. Now, I've had staff that has sometimes pulled out a sheet of paper, and when I look at it, I actually have a small seizure when I look at it because there's so much going on. Now, I understand that each task that you have has probably 20 little things that you have to check off the list to make sure that one thing can get executed. But I would suggest putting down 1, 2, or at most 3 things down on a piece of paper. If I do these 3 things, this day will be a success. Yesterday was April 3rd, and that meant that the Paycheck Protection Program came out, and that was the first day you could apply for that loan as a small business to be able to offset some of these costs with a forgivable loan based off of your payroll. So I knew that that was something I needed to execute. I also knew that in order to do that, I needed to talk to my accountant so that my accountant could advise me on what would be best and what would be the best financial situation for myself, my staff, and my team. I also knew then that I was going to need to clearly communicate that and be very transparent with my team and my staff to let them know what decision we made, why we made it, how it's going to affect them, and then urge them to take immediate action and then communicate back that they did so that everybody was whole. So to me, that was going to be a successful day. Now, there were a whole host of other things I wanted to do. I wanted to do some time doing Bible study. I'm reading Galatians right now. I want to hit Galatians 5, which is real good. So I would suggest you reading that, especially if you're struggling with knowing what's right and wrong. So go hit that one. I wanted to, spend some time in prayer. I wanted to train twice. I wanted to do yoga. And it was a lot of other things I wanted to get done. I knew that when I first woke up, the only thing I was going to do was take action on that. By 9 a.m., I was already had a full phone conversation with my accountant. After that, I had already made sure that I knew what tasks I was going to have to tick off the list to be able to get the triple P done, where I needed to go to the bank, talk to my bankers, see which bank I wanted to use that bank at multiple banks, see which bank I wanted to have those funds dropped into for that, see what bank I wanted I think they have a $10,000, the disaster relief loan. I'm hoping you entrepreneurs know this stuff. You guys are on top of your game. Where I want that, that money dropped into and which accounts I want those to go into. I knew I had to do all those little things, but I wanted to hit that list. Boom, boom, boom. And when I got to the end of it, I said, we got that done. We got this done. We got that done. It's all done. Now, was it hard for me to get my workout in? No, I want to train. Maybe you struggle with that, so maybe you have to put that on your list early. I got my workouts in. I definitely love reading the Bible. I definitely love reading books. I read a couple of books. I've read so many books right now in the last few weeks. I don't know how I got Blake on the team. This dude's still talking about reading 2 books over that. I'm like thinking, man, you got to up your game because there's a lot of time right now. So you can get through a lot of books. You can get through a lot of audios, podcasts, webinars, whatever it is you want to do to improve yourself. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is setting your schedule for your day and knowing what's the most important thing you can do that day for your mental health, for your physical health, for your faith, your fitness, your family, your finances is going to be a very important thing. And again, and I know we're going long. What am I at, 21? 18. Okay, so I swore I would do these quickly, but I'm just talking to you guys. I'm just hanging with you. We're just having coffee right now. I can't hang with anybody. I can't talk to my baristas. I can't make fun of people when they come into Top Line. I think that's what I miss most. I said I was a prick when I was a freshman in high school, and still sometimes I have it, but now I hit you, and then I hug you, and then we're still friends at the end of the day. But what if this changed your life for the better? My question to you is this. During this time, sit down just by yourself, grab a cup of coffee, turn the lights off. I don't know what you need to do. Light a candle, turn on some jazz music like I like to do. I'm an old soul. Michelle hates it. Do what you have to do to get alone, just with your thoughts. What's your one biggest flaw? That one biggest habit that you need to change? The one thing that you know is holding you back. You know what it is. It's the ugly thing. It's the thing that you hate about yourself that you want to change more than anything. Not what other people think. The thing that no one knows but you. What's that one thing that if you change that, your life would change forever for good? It's a deep question, but it's an important question. It's a question I've asked myself over the last few weeks while I'm making an adjustment. Where do I want to improve? I know what it is. I actually put a few things down. I hold myself to high standards. I was pretty hard on myself, maybe too hard. So I wouldn't suggest that. But what's that one area that you want to improve? Find it. That'll be painful to face the harsh reality. And then look at it. And then ask yourself those questions. What's great about this problem? What am I willing to do to make this the way I want it? What am I not willing to do anymore? What excuses am I not willing to make anymore? What lifestyle am I not willing to live anymore to make this the way I want it? And what's not perfect yet that will be perfect? Ask yourself a few of those questions. Spend this time, today is the 4th. Spend this time while I call it the teen. You're on quarantine, so you're in the teen right now. So while you're in the teen, what are you going to do to improve your life and make your life better? I'm a strength coach. I consider myself a leader, a servant leader. So my job is to get people to open up their mind and create real life change. Not come in for some superficial weak workout. Not to come in and have equipment. If you go on our gym right now, it's empty. We gave everything away to our customers, our clients, people who weren't even members here to keep them fit and active. Top line's not about the equipment. It's about the people. It's about creating real change. Real change doesn't start with 1 week workout. Real change doesn't start with a 60-minute personal training session where you have attention on you for 60 minutes with me. Real change starts when you do the deep thinking and you do the deep work of trying to make a change and pinpointing those areas and weaknesses you have, staring at them hard, and then making the adjustments to make your life better. I truly believe that everyone out there can use this to make their life a heck of a lot better, and I'm hoping for it for you. I know it can happen. I'm willing to help. So if you find me on Instagram at Mr. Brett Summers, or I'm on Twitter now, late, super late, maybe like 9 years late, 8 years late, really late to Twitter. No, more than that. I think Twitter was like 2008.
It was early.
So I'm super late to Twitter. I'm getting on TikTok. I got some funny dancing ideas that I'm going to do on there. So TikTok will be cool. It'll be funny. We'll have a little fun on there. But find me because I'm ready to help you. So if you send me a message, chances are I'll probably respond because my aim is to serve people and help people. And that's what this podcast is all about. And that's what this show is all about. So whether you're seeing it on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or you're hearing about it on Spotify or iTunes or wherever else somebody shared something, I hope it helps you and I hope your life improves. And when you're going through a tough time, maybe you're listening to this in 2023, maybe you're listening to this in 2028, and I'm in a retirement home at that time. Maybe you're going through something hard, and this is the way you should approach it so that you can pull something good out of it. So I'm rooting for you guys. Stay on top of your game, keep working hard, and we'll check you on the next one.